Hello, the internet. My name is Wesley, and this is part two of my little series on putting together a DIY synth to donate to the Synth Library of Portland. So today we're going to be talking about this module right here, which is the Wave Freaker made by Music from Outer Space. It's a DIY kit that I assembled. Actually, I've made two of them, and I'm just going to be giving one of them away. Essentially, it is a wave folder, wave shaper module that also has some additional like sub oscillators and like oscillator waveforms built in. I think it'll also do some interesting things on the scope here behind me, so let's have a look. So right now I'm inputting a triangle wave, and we can do a sine wave. You can see there's like a small amount of distortion in there already just from going through the module. But let's see what happens when we crank up the input gain. You can see we're starting to get some weird harmonics. And now when we change the shape knob, you can see that the peaks are starting to like invert. That's kind of what wave folders do. So you end up with these like higher, harmonics and stuff. And there's more than one wave shaping mode. So even just adjusting two of the controls, we're starting to get some pretty trippy and interesting waveforms. And the input gain also interacts with that. By easing up on the gain, the amplitude isn't as high, so stuff isn't getting folded back on itself as hard. There's already a lot going on there. This knob here controls how much of that, folded waveform is going to be in there. So let's roll it all the way back, and we get nothing. So now I'm going to roll up this second knob here, which is labeled step, and it's this interesting stepped waveform. So you can see there's like these jagged steps that appear on the waveform, and that can be mixed in with the kind of squiggly folded version that we're making. And just start getting all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's certainly not all this thing does. Let's roll both of those back. And we'll send in the pulse waveform. So same octave, but it's just a square wave. And I'm not sure if it's just my scope or what. The square waves are looking not very square. We end up with some really trippy looking stuff. We got a low pass filter here. We can start crunching down on some of those harmonics. Trippy. So already we're a little far outside the realm of what's musical, but hey, that's Euro rack sometimes. So now there's a sub oscillator here that we can add in. So you can hear that lower noise coming in there. And this is like a MS-20 style resonant filter that does not kill the bass when the resonance is cranked. Okay, but there's still more that can be done. There's another sub oscillator down here that's 2 octaves down. I think this type of module would probably be popular in stores because it sounds so interesting in isolation, but I do find that a 2 octave down sub oscillator that's cranked all the way does tend to get pretty muddy in a mix, but it's still pretty fun. And just having that much like raw amplitude on tap does really make your filter growl if it's a filter that likes being saturated. So even just with relatively tame settings, we can still get Like some bright, clear, articulate, cool tones out of this. And of course, let's drench it in a little delay and reverb, because why not, right? So, I think the Wave Freaker is really interesting, and even though I made two of them and planned on using them in some kind of crazy stereo patch, I found that it was kind of just a little much. It's like having two sub-oscillators hard pan left and right and 2 octaves down. It's kind of a lot. So, I love this module, and I'm going to go ahead and donate this one to the Synth Library of Portland. And I hope they enjoy it, because I plugged in the power a little wrong and had to replace some of the chips. But it's back and working now, so hey, that's DIY synths for you. Anyway, I've been Wesley. I hope you'll consider subscribing to see where the rest of this series goes, as I put additional modules in this special skiff that I'm going to be giving away and that I hope the people of my city can enjoy. Anyways, thanks and have a good one. Goodbye.